Well, today was a crazy day, so I think I need to release some of the stress. But this video is not about the wine. Hold on. So I'm still here. I extended my stay at the hotel for one more day because nothing happened in the morning. I was supposed to drive somewhere, you know, and that guy that came over to my truck, he said they can take the doors apart. Because first I'm waiting for the mechanic, and actually my phone rings, and this lady Maria, who called me Friday, she was asking me for my exact address. I gave her the address. I told her what hotel I'm staying at, and she says, okay, I'm gonna give you a number to my mechanic who's gonna come out and take a look right in your yard before we do anything. And I said, okay, maybe it's easier for you to call my US number. So I gave her my 609 New Jersey number. Nobody called me. I'm waiting. It's like 9 o'clock. So I call my customer and I say, so what's going on? Like, what did you hear from the repair company? He doesn't answer. He says, okay, we're gonna go with this guy you talked to in the parking lot. We're gonna take it to his yard, and we're gonna take it apart, and we're gonna put it in a container. And then he sends me a text message and he says, okay, this is the address, somewhere like 20 miles away, and this is his name, and he already has his phone number because I gave it to him, but he says, just in case, this is his phone number, and he says, please call him before you go. Okay, so I call the customer. I said, I hope you understand. First off, it's oversized, overweight load. Legal limit in New Jersey is 80,000 pounds, and my loaded weight is 117,880 pounds. So I'm almost 40,000 pounds over. So I cannot risk, you know, getting a ticket. Like, and I said, secondly, I'm not sure if you realize the importance of this, but I purchased a bond to move this in bond to the port, right? I cannot just drop it off anywhere, right? I can, like he says, okay, go to this place and we're gonna take it apart. I cannot do that unless my bond guy, as I call him, gives me the green light. And so I email or call the bond guy, and he was under the impression that we were gonna fix the machine. And he said for everybody involved that would have been the best scenario because the bond is good for 15 days, right? So he wasn't too much, you know, worried that I would take it to a shop. But he says, yeah, let's say you take it to a shop, 1 or 2 days they fix it, and you are still the carrier who delivers this. You go back to the same terminal, you drive the machine on, and because I asked him about this, I said, what about if it's a different company? Like now they want me to go to this cut apart company, right, where they want to strip the machine and ship it as parts. And the bond guy emails me back. He says, now I'm a bit worried. He says, and I told him, I said, you know, it's a container. Okay, if it's a small container, I can probably take it, but you know, a container on an RGN trailer, and plus, you know, how long do I have to sit there? Because it's not exactly like a 2-hour job, you know, to take apart tracks and the cab. They want to take the cab off. you know, it would take a week, right? And so I don't want to sit here a week. So this guy, the cutaway guy, said they're bonded. He says we have a bonded warehouse. And so I'm asking my bond guy, I said, hey, these guys claim they're bonded. Can we just reassign the load to them, maybe change the bond? And that's why he said he doesn't feel good about this. He doesn't like that. First off, we're changing everything now. Now it's not a machine. Now it's pieces in a container. But he says, as long as you're delivering, I would need this. He says, I would need a new dock receipt proving the a booking exists, you know, a booking on the ship that kind of like a guarantee that this thing is leaving US, right? And then he says, I would need the container number where it's actually kind of like, you know, he goes by the book, which the way it should be, right? But he was not asking me anything about the address of this company, right? And so I emailed him. I said, so you don't need the address to change the bond? And he says, wait, I thought you were delivering. I said, no, I don't want to sit there a week or 2 weeks while they're taking apart this machine. So he says, yeah, he doesn't like it. He says, if you cannot fix it here, because that was the original intent to fix this, but then of course, I'm guessing it's too expensive, like everybody was saying in comments. It would cost too much money and take too much time. And of course, like people were saying, drain the oil from the drives. What they don't realize is that on these old machines, the seal between the transmission and the drives is bad. And so if we drain the oil from the drives, from the final drives, this machine will not move until it has enough back pressure or oil. The oil level has to be high enough in the transmission. Remember, that's why I had that issue, right? I couldn't get it into gear because there was not enough oil. But as soon as we add oil, let's say even 20-30 gallons, and the machine is working, yeah, it'll move, but it'll be leaving you know, tracks filled with oil, because the oil will flow through that broken seal into the final drive. So there's no easy fix, right? You drain the oil, you still need the oil in the transmission, because the terminal we were trying to ship from, it's called a roll-on off terminal, right? That's where they ship cars. So everything has to go under its own power, right? I don't even remember seeing a crane. It's not like a crane port, you know, like a container port. And that's why this take apart type of guy was saying, yeah, we need to change the port. We need to ship it from a container port. And that's also what got my bond guy worried. So like, we're changing everything. We're changing the carrier. We're changing the nature of the load. Now it's parts instead of a machine. It's no longer moving by its own power. Now we have to have a container, and we're using different port. And it's a different carrier. And he says, like, basically, time out, go back to Canada. I said, yes, sir. So I emailed my customer. I said, that's it, it's not gonna work. I said, what you need to do is, I said, I hope you understand the, you know, seriousness of this, because we can, if we screw up here, we can get fines up to like $100,000, like no joke, okay? I never had that trouble, but I heard about it. Like, that's why I'm not bonded. I don't want to be bonded, because there's a lot of danger. I mentioned this before, and that's why it was super hard to find a broker who would allow you to purchase the bond from him, because he has to trust you that you're not going to screw up. That's why I feel so responsible before this guy, you know, from Washington. I have to do what he tells me to do. And so he tells me, if you cannot fix it, take it back to Canada. So I emailed this customer. I said, okay. Oh, no, I emailed the bond guy. I said, are you okay talking with my customer? Because I don't think he understands the seriousness of this bond business. I said, can I give you his phone number? Can I give him your phone number? And he says, yeah, now that you're not fixing the machine and you're trying to strip it. I said, it's not me, it's the customer. He said, well, but now that you're trying to, you know, change the machine from a working machine into parts, yeah, I will talk to him. And so I emailed my customer. I said, okay, here's the phone number. Please talk to this gentleman. He's in charge of my bond. We have to go by what he says. And so the customer says he set up a conference call between my bond guy, himself, and the buyer, like the original buyer from the auction, who's somewhere in Texas, I think. And then he calls me back. He says, yeah, okay, we're sending it back to Canada. And so he says, can you give me your rate? He says, I will pay you, but you know, if you can give me a discount. You know, I already gave him a weekend free, right? And I've been under this load since Monday, November 29th. If you remember, Monday I went to load it. We could not load it. I slept at the truck at the Walmart over there. Tuesday we dragged it with a wrecker. And yeah, like one guy said, that's where I should have stopped, you know, because we're sending a machine to a roll-on-off port, right? A roll, as they call them. So if this thing is, we have to drag it on the trailer, how are they going to load it? They don't have a crane. So that should have been a big, you know, sign for me not to do it. But I already wasted 2 days. I ordered permits. You know, I was in for, just now I know, permits, and the bridge crossing cost me $624 US. And the bond was $420. So pretty much I was out of, Tuesday when I was loading this, I was out of $1,000 already US. And that's why I wanted to pick it up, because I said, hey, permits already ordered. Like, nobody's going to give me back this money. But now it looks like we're going back. And I talked again to the bond guy. I said, so what's going to be the fee? Are we just going to reverse the bond, or how does it work? And he says, no, unfortunately, that's a new bond. So I have to pay him again $420 US. And what that does, that covers this shipment. And he's going to use, I said, use the, you know, refused at the port. Goods refused at the port. You know, they can refuse anything. They can refuse, like we can say, the dozer, which is true, was not able to move under its own power, right? Because I couldn't get the tracks moving. And the port could easily refuse something if it's dirty, too much dirt on tracks, or too much leaks, or it cannot move. And so I said, yeah, just write on the bond, you know, goods refused at the port. And so we're doing the same thing from the port, going back to the first exit from US, which is Buffalo, New York. And so he says, yeah, it's going to be the same $420, unfortunately. And so I factored all that into my quote. I gave him a break on the line haul on the rate, because now I know this thing is not 75,000 pounds, it's 58,000 pounds. And then I added 1 day detention, $950. As I told him, I said, I'm not going to charge you for Saturday, Sunday. I spent for the whole Friday I spent in the port. I'm not charging you for that. But Monday, I said, if I'm moving Monday, if I'm leaving today, there's still a charge of $950 because I wasted all day, right? If I'm leaving Tuesday, that's $950 times 2. And now it's already 5 o'clock on Monday. I send the invoice to the broker around 4 o'clock. It was like 3:45 local time, and never heard from him. And I added a line in there, agreed, and his name and date, so that I know I'll be paid. And he never got back to me, so I contacted the original broker. I said, you know, here's what happened. I haven't heard from the customer. Now we're going back because you were the original broker. I'd rather work with you, you know. So I sent him a copy of the invoice, and he says, okay, let me talk to the guy and see where we stand. And so I said, hey, if I haven't, because now it's too late to order permits, so I don't have permits. I don't have the bond to come back. And I have to check out of the hotel tomorrow at 11. So if I cannot leave tomorrow, I'm going to charge him 1 more day of detention. But this is really a major, you know, mess up. And that's what happens when you're loading a 50-year-old dozer from an auction going to Africa. Okay. Yeah, I don't like I know everybody says this. I don't like working with old equipment because many things can go wrong. You know, they don't work properly, right? It's so much better load brand new, but unfortunately, that's not always the case. You know. Yeah, that's that sordina, the one that makes bass. Yeah, makes it much quieter. And here, so that's the 4 voice. And then I can go 3 voice.